So welcome friends, I will today continue with my mobile. I will continue with the mobile today. I think presumably I think that is the only option available now. Thank you. I think today more people are not joining because of the Mahalaya.
Ramachandran sir, if your laptop is on, you mute it. Otherwise, that echo sound will keep coming. Correct. Use the mobile for your audio and you mute. Then
now I should be okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Fair enough. I think, friends, sorry for the glitch. I think, thank you, Kesavan Ayam. You brought us a lot of blessings from Ayyappan as well as Agasthyar Falls and all. I could hear whatever you were telling. That was a wonderful place to visit, I presume. I think it's an enchanting place. Agasthyar Falls, that have been told. I think we should all visit during our lifetime. I think we will hear much about it. Kesavan. எப்படி இருந்தது? Okay. You are mute. Mic on பண்ணுங்க. Mic on பண்ணுங்க.
நான் நார்த்துக்குலாம் போயிட்டு இருக்கேன். டைகர் ஃபாரஸ்ட் இங்க எல்லாம் பிரமாதமா இருக்குங்க. என்ன டென்ஸ் ஃபாரஸ்ட் என்ன அருமையா வச்சிருக்காங்க தெரியுமா?
பாபநாசத்துல இருந்து இந்த அகஸ்தியர் ஃபால்ஸ் மட்டும் பிரமாதமா இருக்குங்கறாங்க அப்படி.
ஆமாமா, பாபநாசம் கோயில்ல மேக்ஸ்ல ஆரம்பிக்கிறது. அங்க இந்த அகஸ்தியர் ஃபால்ஸ், then you can go back to the temple. Temple வந்து டிஃபரண்ட் ரூட், அது எல்லாம் அலோ பண்றாங்க. அகஸ்தியர் ஃபால்ஸ் you must have permission because the tiger area அது.
Okay.
வாட்டர் இதுபா வருமா அதுங்க? and falls is very short for ரொம்ப ஃபோர்ஸா இருக்கு. அந்த டேம்ல இருந்து அலோ பண்றாங்க வாட்டரை.
Okay.
But it's a class Ramachandran. It's an amazing place.
Just a minute. Anyway, wonderful Kesavan. You have chosen a wonderful route this time.
Yeah, but they've seen a lot of places actually.
Okay. Anyway, we are also getting the blessings from you along with Darshan.
All are getting it by Ayyappa because of the gifts. Okay.
Darshan நல்லா இருந்ததாங்க.
Yeah. Wonderful.
பேத்தியா?
ஆமாமா, வடிவ பாருங்க, பாத்துட்டு இருக்கா அவளும்.
அத காமி அதுங்க.
பாத்துட்டு இருக்கு. குரல் கேக்குறதா இருக்கு.
திருப்பி காமிங்க அவருக்கு.
தெரியுது, எல்லாம் தெரியும். வித்யா வரல இன்னைக்கு. இது மழை பட்சம். பூஜையில் இருக்கா?
திருப்பி காமிங்க குழந்தைய.
குழந்தைக்கு கொஞ்சம் மேலே எடுத்து மேலே. ஓ, வண்டர்ஃபுல்.
தாத்தா பார். அங்க பார். குட்டி அங்க பார்.
வண்டர்ஃபுல். எப்படிமா இருக்க?
அங்க பார். கூப்பிடுறா பாருண்ணா.
ஹாய்.
அங்க பார். ஹாய் சொல்ற பார்.
அது கேமரா எங்க இருக்குன்னு தெரியல, முகம் தெரியும்.
அதோ முகம் நான் காமிச்சேன்னு கலதா. இப்போ தூங்கி வந்து குளிச்சு தூங்கி சாப்பிட்டு வந்திருக்காவோ.
இனிமே உங்களுக்கு டைம் போறதே தெரியாது இனிமே அவளோட.
அவ இங்கே கூட பாத்துட்டு இருக்காவோ. லாஸ்ட் கூட பார்த்தாவோ.
Okay. Wonderful. I think now we will commence the proceedings. Thank you. Sorry for the glitch. Anyway, this is bound to happen. இது இவ்வளவு நாள் glitch இல்ல நடுவுல. ஓம் ஸ்ரீ குருப்யோ பரம குருப்யோ ஸ்ரீமதானந்த தீர்த்த பகவத் பாதாச்சாரியோப்யோ நமோ நமः. நாராயண பரிபூர்ண குணார்ணவாய விஸ்வோதய ஸ்திதிதோலய நியதி பிரதாய ஞான பிரதாய விபுதா சுர சௌக்கிய துக்க சத்காரணாய விததாய நமோ நமஸ்தே. யோ விப்ரலிம்ப விபரீதம் அதிப்பிரபூதான் Vadan nirasya kritavan bhuvidattvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tammanandatirthamunivayam Namami Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satya Dharmarataya Cha Vajatam Kalpavrakshaya Namatam Kamadenave Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome, friends. I think today we will just cover the second mantra. Just for the purpose of our recap, what we were seeing was Anyat, because there are two things we were talking about, Shreyas and Prayas. And we were also trying to explain in detail as to what is Shreyas. Shreyas is which is good for us, and Prayas is which is pleasant for us. In the sense, as we, it has been very nicely said in Hindi, जो अच्छा होता है, which is going to be good for us, that is Shreyas. वो अच्छा लगता है, what we feel good, that is Prayas. But basically, we said, we discussed in very detail. I do not want to go into that. Having explained, we were trying to find out how to discriminate, how to find Shreyas and how to find Prayas, how to discriminate and all. See, in normal day-to-day life, when it happens, we may not be able to discriminate, because everything will come together. Everyday experience comes, we will have to react, continuously act and react. That is what the human being's tendency is. But, we said, we gave some indications when it is not, you don't find in a magnetic attraction, or when it is for the common good of everyone, that is Shreyas and all. These are all very good. But how to identify in real life, that is going to be a challenge. That is what we are going to find out. Because both of them come, Shreyas will also come in the form of prayers. Because you can convert prayers into Shreyas. That's what we are going to discuss in this entire second Valli. Because basically when we are living, how we are going to live so that over a period of time, we are able to identify what is good for us. Certainly we will have to go with what is pleasant for us. What is pleasant for us will have to be, pleasant for the family, pleasant for the near and dear, and we cannot just exclusively take us ourselves out of it, because when there is an occasion, when there is a celebration, you can't say, I am a Shreyas and I will sit idle. It's not. Shreyas and praise doesn't mean at all. You go about the life, but see, how you can convert it, how you can take it to the highest level and all. So it is like, because when you are, for instance, all of us are performing certain pujas. For instance, Satyanarayana Puja is a common thing in north, up north. Of course, it is more popular in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh as well. And nowadays, it has come into Tamil Nadu also. So you are doing the Satyanarayana Puja for variety of purposes. Some people may be doing it, because there is some obstruction in the family. They want, some wedding is not taking place, or they are not able to complete the construction of the house. Someone will do like that. Someone will do, because it is Satyanarayana Puja. You have to do, because this is an occasion. It is a Purnima or it is a Sunday. Because there are occasions where you have to do. And there is a way to do, because what we are doing and what they are doing in up north, there is totally different. Actually, Satyanarayana Puja has to be done towards the evening. When, Godula, when they say, when the cows come home after grazing, when it comes back, then only, because the entire, the Satyanarayana Puja has to be done. So that is the most auspicious time, especially the bell that is tied around the cow, because when you hear that noise, that is the right type of moment, for you to commence the Satyanarayana Puja, because that is the most auspicious time, because there is no time, which is going to invalidate anything at all. That's how they do it. And while doing that, you will also be sort of performing, you will call all your friends and near and dear ones, because all of us, all of them will have to participate in that. In fact, because I started doing the Satyanarayana Puja, I think way back in 88. It is almost 36 years we have been doing it. We are doing it as a sort of Thanksgiving, look, because at the end of the year, because normally we do it on 1st of January or the first week or last week of December, as the case may be, whichever suits, with all people coming together, and we used to do it. So that we are doing just because, look, we have got, expressing our gratitude for whatever has happened. You have enabled us, you have stood by us, we were able to get through, and we are able to do that, because that's what we are expressing. So everyone has got a different purpose. So when we don't have any purpose, when you are expressing a gratitude, that is also, you are looking for the forthcoming year to go without any event, without any problem. Even during the course of this pandemic, we were only praying, because let all these things come to an end, because as you have seen, a lot of people, especially the daily wage earners, like, the plumbers or, the others and all, they have all lost their livelihood, because people were not, even the relatives and near and dear were not allowed to come into the house. How a person, because they were not allowed to come, and then they had the problem, and it was a huge. And everyone tried to help, whatever might they can, but certainly, the suffering was inevitable for all those people. So basically, we were praying for the end of this pandemic so that, people in their normal course, they can carry on their life. And see, all of them will have a vocation, because whatever we are capable of, we are doing that, we are doing that. But when you are doing something, doing as a particular thing, because some people do for the business growth, some people do it for that and all, that's all good when you are doing it. But you take, your sort of a mental framework, as well as your idea how to go about, you take, the wherewithal from whatever you are doing and proceed with that. That is what, but you hold on, I have done this, so I will have to get it, I will somehow get it. That somehow is the praise. At any cost is the praise. See, you start something, but you want to achieve at any cost, that is praise. But you want to do it within the framework of the mutual benefit and common good, and within the acceptable framework of moral validation, and whatever, to the sort of a mutual benefit, a win-win for everyone. When you are doing it, that is Shreyas. In short, this is that one. But how, because both of them are very difficult to sort of identify and discriminate. Why it is happening is because in normal day, because it will all be masquerading. A thing, which is likely to take you into the indulgence, which will be masquerading, because people will talk about all high things, values, and take you to a particular path. And, you will find a lot of people who are spiritual masters are nowadays sprouting in everywhere and all. Everywhere they are telling, it is becoming a more of a commercial enterprise, because you want this, we can do that. And as well as people do participate in that, because you've got a lot of feast for your eyes and ears, because that is being presented. And nowadays, even the spiritual masters come in their garb, with their fancy dress and all, something like that. See, just to attract, because basically that is what even, after all in this world, when we are doing, it is like trying to market ourselves. When the marketing is being done, when you don't have any marketing involved in your action, that is Shreyas. When you market yourself for a transactional purposes, that is praise. This is in short, we have seen. When we say how you will identify in Adadanasya, in the sense by reflecting continuously, by reflecting constantly, you will be able to identify. That's why in the first mantra said, Tayo Shreya Adadanasya Sadhuhu. Because once you are able to identify, you will always get the awareness of common good of others. That is the God realization and God awareness throughout whatever you are doing. So that is how, the entire thing has to be taken. So while we have talked about all these things, what is that, because we have to do to just convert or just find ourselves? What is that, we will have to convert, because we take effort to make everything praise to Shreyas. For instance, you've got abundance of resources available for something and all. But how to sort of go about it, how to use the resources purposefully, that is where, we will have to work upon. See, today morning, I happened to see one famous discussion between one world-renowned thinker called Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is a world-renowned linguist, philosopher, all rolled into one, and he has rather, been teaching, the linguistics as well as the very thought process, and including how certain people act in a particular way they are acting, because whether it is a politician or anyone else in the anywhere, because some you find, because doing a lot of good, because that they don't get any respect or something like that, they are all left way behind. Whereas someone else, who is doing all sort of atrocious thing, because he is dying, but he is being sort of taken into sort of height, by everyone likes him. Finally, he gets whatever he wants. So that is how, he's trying to find. He is trying to analyze it in the process of the linguistic, how you are communicating with each other, how, the entire thought process can be converted into sort of a more fertile, so that finally we can go about it. In this today's discussion, he was talking about what is consciousness. Consciousness, same thing, that when you are able to sort of go through, because beyond body, our body, mind, and intellect will not be able to tell you what is really the consciousness, or you will not be able to even touch the consciousness. The consciousness is nowhere when you are approaching everything with the body, mind, and intellect, because that is a Western view of it. But the consciousness is everywhere, and the body, mind, because see, the consciousness is the one when you transcend. When there are so many thoughts come, some of them are flipped by. You don't even notice some thoughts. Something good has happened to you, even you don't notice. You've also done some good thing to people, but they are also not recognizing it. They are not noticing it. But nothing bothers you. You just go by. Even when these things flip by, something comes out of without any effort from you. That is, you can say something is conditioned by consciousness. This is exactly what we call is intuition. Intuition is the one doesn't come with effort. You see, effortlessly come because you have gathered so many things. Because it comes, you have become eligible to get that particular thought at that point of time. It is the grace. They may call it, because you have got the veil of Maya removed, or you have got the grace and all. It comes out of that. So that is why the second mantra, what it talks about, we will go through the second mantra. It is in your page, next page, it is there after the 1.2.2. Shreyasya preyasya manushyametah to sampariyata vibinakti dhiraha. Shreyasya preyasya manushyametah tau sampariyata vivinakti dhiraha. In the sense, because when it comes everything together, masquerading one after the other, how to identify preyasya manushyametah, both of them will just take us by storm. Even what you call praise, and all, nothing, because when you have got to see you've gone into a particular sort of a mode of living, and you've got everything, you are used to all the comforts. When you are taken away with the comforts, you just you are not able to withstand, without that comfort you are not able to live. That you become slowly addicted. Even you are capable of high the greatest heights, you are slowly weaning away towards the praise. So I can't live without that, because you create a compulsion around yourself. But you might not have lived all through your life like that. Somehow in between you might have got used to. But when you suddenly get into that and you thought, because without that I will not be able to live, I will have to get it at any cost. So then you don't mind, because doing what you need to do to get those comforts. So that is something they say, because Manushya Metaha, but how you can just avoid that? How Samparitya? Samparitya in the sense by constantly reflecting, because what happens is when prayers, you need so many things. If you want to, because when you want to enjoy the world, or when you want to lead a life, when you have so many things that you need, more you need the things that they take away. Because more you need the things, you will be after them, one after the other. Because today I can't live without a laptop. I need a laptop as well as I need a tablet. I have got a mobile phone and all. It is there because a person who can just do with only one thing, a mobile phone or a laptop, with that, he is able to do that. Because you feel, even though it is not immediately needed, I don't need all these things together, because humanly it is not impossible. It's not possible for you to operate all the things together and do it. But the presence of that, gives you the comfort. For instance, you need money, but then, because we will go to the next mantra, it will say much more deeply and all. In fact, this mantra itself says, so why it is happening like that? Vivinakti dhiraha. So Vivinakti dhiraha, in the sense it separates and distinguishes. Dhiraha is the one who has samparitya, by constant reflection, he has come to know of it. Shreyo dhiro abhi Preyaso vrinite, preyo mando yogakshemat vrinite. See, what happens is, once yoga is whatever you want to have in the yoga has got two meaning. One is union. This is the highest meaning what Patanjali has taught us is union of the consciousness with the mind and the body. Finally, you are able to work upon your body with your consciousness and mind coming together. That is yoga. That's why we do all pranayama. You are able to just go into the inward journey and you are able to reflect upon ourselves. Otherwise, Yogakshamam in the sense, when you want to live in this, because Yogakshamam Mahamyaham, this LIC, whatever they say is to be living secured life, you need an insurance. That is yoga. You need so many things to live in this. You need a good house, you need a good car, you need everything and all. When you see yoga, you need too many things to keep you happy. That is yoga. Yogakshamam in the sense, whatever you have, you want to keep it. You do not want any comfort to be lessened. See, if I'm used to a car, I can't live without a car, for about a couple of years, if I have to be there and all. If I have lived in a big house, I will not be able to go in a small one-room tenement because I'm not used to it. So what happens in this life is, whatever we want to earn, we want to gather, and we want to keep it up. We do not want to be reduced. For instance, if you have more than half $500,000 in your bank account, you feel safe. You may not be spending that. Yogakshamam. You want to keep it. So when you want to keep it, that gives you a psychological satisfaction. You are not going to immediately dispense, and you are not going to start something and all because you've got a $500,000 or a couple of $1,000,000 and all. But the very much, it is there, and your life is worked upon in making that $500,000 or $2 million. So when the entire life is being worked upon gathering the thing as well as keeping those things, yogakshamam, when you are doing it, that is praise. But when you have got something higher than that, even if you have, because $500,000 or $2 million or something like that, you may think of, because not only, as a charity, you may think of, something good, so that, you will be able to contribute. You have got certain know-how, knowledge, or you may start something, because some outfit or organization where you will be able to gather others also. You will be able to go about, because that is so that you will be able to, so many people will get the benefit out of that. When you do it and you focus on that, that is Shreyas. So that way, it's not easy to identify Shreyas and praise very easily. Only going on gathering the things and as well as keeping it, for your comfort, always is praise. But when it comes, you take it. When it doesn't come, you don't bother. As it comes, you work on that. When it comes, you take it and you make use of that. And it's not that you should always live in penury and all. You should live a happy life. You should have everything and all. At the same time, you should be able to work upon. So, like, one of the Ford's, the one person, one of the inheritors of Ford, he is doing a lot of charity because he has become a member of ISKCON. So he has come to realize that and all. But it's not that he has simply given up everything and he has come to roads and all. Whatever earnings comes, he is trying to share it, but he still lives in a luxurious life. After all, because luxurious life in the sense he needs all those mobility, he needs transportation and all those things. But you are not focusing on getting the thing and keeping it and all. So whatever comes, you dispense. That's why in Tamil, the word that is we call for the wealth is selvam. Selvam in the sense which will go, selvam. It says always, I am going, but you are not able to keep it with you and all. In fact, those who are used to southern part of Tamil Nadu, you may be seeing, if go to a lot of sort of Vaishya's house, what we call Chettiar and all, there will be one small, a poem will be written in, they consider it to be a deity, they always do a puja, it is in the puja room. காடுவெட்டி போட்டு கடிய நிலம் திருத்தி வீடு கட்டு கொண்டிருக்கும் வேள்வணிகர் வீடுகட்டு அன்றைக்கு வந்த அம்மா லக்குமியே என்றும் நீங்காதிரு. This is what they say. காடு வெட்டி போட்டு கடிய நிலம் திருத்தி வீடு கட்டி கொண்டிருக்கும் வேள்வணிகர் வீடுகட்டு அன்றைக்கு வந்த அம்மா லக்குமியே என்றைக்கும் நீங்காது. This is what they say. Because what they want is, look, because this is the property. I see, even if I go, it should be available to my children and it should be there. Please don't go. But whereas the very word for Tamil selvam is selvam, whether you want it or not, it will go. So Ishavarsham idagam sarvam, in the sense, Tena tektena bunjitaha ma krita kasyasvitanam. It is all his. It's not going to be with you. Today it will be with you. The house will be here, the land will be here. Tomorrow someone else will be doing it because he is ordained. He is to get it. See, all of us would have had a land in our villages long before. We may think, I had 100 acres. We also had it. But now it is not there. It's someone's hands and it is gone. But in our effort to keep that only has done, we would have wasted our time. Whatever has to happen, will happen. Like, in the sea, when you go into the sea, it is, when you are only trying to, have, the very great part of the sea, you do it and you will have only salt water. But unless you know what the sea can give, dive deep into and get the entire corals and gems that is available, then even a small part of the sea is good enough for you to live happily. This is exactly this being said. So, Shreyasya, Preyasya, Manushya Metaha, because when it comes, for it is all common, both will come. You will not be able to say this is Shreyas and this is Preyas and all. They will be masquerading the same thing and all. At that point of time, when you are not able to drawn towards the indulgence, when you are able to keep your mooring and go about it, that is Shreyas. Tau Samparitya, because when it comes, it comes together, and when you are able to reflect upon, you don't hold on, because you have got certain, say you will further investment, and whatever comes, you may contribute to some charity, because some people have got a habit of, I will invest this, whatever comes, I will give it to something else. That is Shreyas, you don't bother, because you want to keep it as well to good use. But then you are not only focusing on keeping it and all. See, you will have to dispense with whatever comes out also. That's why your focus should be very different. It's Cheyo, Diro api Preyaso Vrinite, Preyo Manda Yogatthemam Vrinite. Because he says, when you are only focusing on gathering and you are only, keeping it, you are Manda, they say. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. When Shankaracharya called everyone else as a Muda, here they call it Manda, in the sense, you are only focused, your entire life is spent only on this. What else? Because you are not able to go beyond, the keeping the entire things and all. Things will go and things will go. Like, they come. Because like as Tamil says, Selvam will come, Thediya Maadu need Selvam. This is what Periya Puranam says. When you say Thediya Maadu need Selvam, in the sense, Maadu in the sense, in those days, it is again a Pasu as well as wealth. It will come. Thediya Maadu need Selvam. It will be there as long as it's there, and then Selvam, it will go off. It will come, it will go off. You are part of it. You are a medium. To you, it has come. It will also go from you when it is when the time has come. You don't bother about it. You go about, pursuing, your own path. So at that point of time, when you don't bother about what you are having, what you have to keep and all, then you will be able to draw yourself, and you will be able to know what is that means. You give tyaga. Tyaga in the sense, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham. What we ask, whenever we go to the temple, what we ask, because we say the Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham, in the sense, don't give me attachment to everything. Attachment in the sense, it is required. You've got family, friends, your own children, everything is there. Attachment is there to the extent that you should do. You should be available at call when they need you. It is not that you will not go on, because they may not like us. Even if you go and think I am going to help my grandson and all, he will say, better, why don't you mind your business? Allow me to do what am I to do? He has got a way to do the things. So your own sons and all, because you will have to be available when they need. At the same time, you go about it. That is what they say. It is not a detachment. It is what we say is the Padma Patra Drishtanta, like a lotus, be in the water. You have to be in the water, but don't get attached to that. This is exactly they have tried to bring about. So when we are bring about, how long, because you go on doing it, what else next? So yoga tremam, you don't keep anything and all this. Tyaga is what you are not only going to give up is tyaga, dispassion. If it comes, you accept. If it don't come, you don't go after that. You want to get something, work for that, but whatever means and whatever, normal, whatever happens, don't go out of the way. Because when you don't go out, you at any cost, I will have to get that, in the sense, you will put everything else into whatever you are composed of. You will be jeopardizing the entire structure of yours. So you've got a personality, you've got a thought, you've got a way of doing it. All those things, you developed an attitude. Your attitude, when it goes up. So why we are, having all these things? It is built into our everyday life. See, all of us are having, we are all putting our insignia because namams are, our own Gopi Chandanam, we are doing everything. What is the purpose of that? It is called Urdhva Pundara. Urdhva Pundara is taking us up from Muladhara Chakra, where, the whole base, the whatever worldly things are there, it has got on all it is drawing to the world. Muladhara Chakra draws to that entire thing to your world. When you take it, the entire things comes. It is a sort of, it is a lake, from there it comes. From Muladhara, when you get Swadhisthana and you got Swadhisthana Chakra is there, that is one, refines it further. And then, it takes you to the next chakra. Well, you got 3 chakras, begin below the navel region. So when the navel region, when it is there, when you put, 3 namams, for Gopi Chandanam, or even the Vaishnavas also put 3 namams there and all, around the nabi, it is, first is salt, full of salt. Now from there, the next one is, it is giving you some sort of a sugarcane juice, because from there, it is being converted, because you are able to get into a still better version of it. You are dive deep into and find out. The last one is, it takes you to totally indulging, take you into it is like a surah in the sense it is wine, it takes you, it makes you embroiled, into the worldly affairs. The 3, what you are telling, the nabi, below nabi, it makes you indulge in this thing. Because it is initially a sea. More you indulge in, it looks like a sugarcane juice. And more you indulge, you become intoxicated. You get into this world. So what happens, when it comes all the 3, when you go up, when you put the namam, because it's all pointing upward. Urdhva Pundara is going up. When it comes, you put the entire, the Gopi Chandana namam in your heart. When it comes, it is there, it comes in the form of the great, you got the sea of butter. See, when the butter in Navanita, because when it is there, the Navanita is there, you offer to the Navanita, because who is Krishna? Krishna is Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. You offer Navanita to him, it comes. So when Navanita is there, how because from there, how it will suddenly come as you grow up, as you sort of slowly give up the indulgence, the magnetic attraction and slowing from prayers to shares as you are coming out. From here, when you go up, because you will not get the butter, the sea of butter, you will not get it. You need the curd. The curd is in your Vishuddha Chakra, throat chakra. So basically, it is Manipura, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura. All the 3 are, Muladhara is the basic, it takes you to that, because once you don't have a Urdhva Pundara, when you don't get into that, only the lust and the enjoyment in the life only takes you down. That is why we put the Urdhva Pundara, Namam and all, going upwards. From there, when the Navanita, you need the curd. Curd is in the Vishuddha Chakra. Vishuddha Chakra, it is a sea of curd, because that from there only you will be able to get the Navanita, because it is a higher level. And in the heart chakra is the one where you are getting the butter, because that is where the Paramatma resides. Sushilam, Shushmam, he is there. Antaryami, Sarvantaryami. Swamin Sarvantaryami, when you say he is there, that is why it is there. But it will have to come from throat chakra, because throat chakra, when you are focusing on throat chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, because it is the one which takes you to the Ajna chakra. Ajna chakra is the Shira Samudra. So where, the Sheshasai, the Shira Samudra, when he is there, it is where from there the curd Samudra, because where you are getting the sea of curd in your throat, from there it comes. It comes when you are going up, Urdhva Chakra. But if it doesn't go up, you will get into the lust, longing, and indulgence in the life. It is basically when every day when we are putting up, the purpose is only this. So that let me be, the awareness be there. So that let me not get indulged, however great he may be. And all. See, you might have married the sort of the world beauty or Miss World or Miss Universe. Doesn't mean, you slowly, because you should be able to keep yourself, on your keel, keep yourself, on your footing. That's what it says, because don't get into that. It might have happened, because as it happened, it's not that, it's wrong to get married to someone so beautiful and all. It's okay. You get that. But at the same time, you will have to maintain it because your way of doing it and all. So every time your elevation will have to take place. Every day elevation will have to take place. That's why when you offer every day, the entire butter in an offering to the Navanita, it is every day fresh. Because you can't keep the butter, because I will do it today and I will not do it for 10 days in the sense. Butter, if you keep it for 10 days, it will be sort of, even the smell, you will not be able to stand. It is detestable. So therefore, once it comes, it is the Shira Samudra, it is there. But finally, when you are able to get the Kundalini upwards, when you get to Sahasrara, on your this one, that is where calling an Ardhana with all the 1,000 foots of Sesha that takes place. That you should be able to experience yourself. It is not the picture what you are seeing and all. Internally, you will get such a bliss. Internally, you will get such an elevation. When you are putting Namam and all, because we are the Gopi Chandanam, everything and all, even for this, even Vibhuti, when you play, that it is basically the three, when you are putting all over the body, it is elevating one. And not only it is elevating, it is also taking away avidya, kama, and karma. All the three. Whatever you want. Avidya is the greatest concept in avidya is, ajnana is good. Ajnana is we don't know anything. Ignorant. I don't have to know anything about it. But avidya is I know all wrong things. What I have known is not the right thing. Avidya is, because someone said, look, because if you go and do it shortcut and pay money to him and get the seat, that is the way you have to do and all, because when the whole world is there and doing it, what is that, I don't have to do. You can't sit on the moral principles. Your children will say, look, everyone else is getting it done. Why are you not doing it? But once you have a belief and once you think steadfastly that, it will be done, because you have got such a great belief and you are holding on to that, no one can, you will get it. You are bound to get it. It is like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he told Vivekananda, when he said, every day you are talking to Bhavadarini, the Kali in Dakshineswar, then because how am I to, because when you are talking, why can't I talk? So then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, you can also talk, but you should become conditioned, eligible to do that. That's why, you just put him, because below the level of water, he was not able to sort of, hold his breath. When he said, he was gasping for his breath, he said, you should have such a sort of a longing to talk to Bhavadarini, then she will talk to you. So this is exactly will happen. Because even now, because that is one particular small story. I think it is a story only. I hope, it's not recorded anywhere. When Raghavendra Swami, he was waiting in a temple. He has become a Swami. He was so great a Swami. He was waiting there. And when the Archaka, he went in, the Swamiji, he stood up. So they said, because why Raghavendra Swami has to stand up, the Archaka is going inside to do the puja. And then after some time, when the Archaka came came out of the temple also, the Raghavendra Swami stood up again. What is that, because he is a great Swamiji. His Archaka is not so great as Swamiji and all. Why Raghavendra Swami? So it is said in that when Archaka went inside, the God left out it. He went out it seems. That's why he stood up. So when Archaka was coming out, the God was going inside it. So that is exactly, the Archaka was going with all the desires, intentions and all. So that is Shreyas. But when you see, like Tirukkachi Nambigal, it is said, he used to talk to, this Perumal, Varadaraja Perumal. Because he is not a great scholar, he was only cleaning and keeping the things, but he was able to, even Ramanuja had to talk to Varadaraja Perumal through Tirukkachi, because he was the one who was able to talk to him. So that is when you hold on to him, when you have such a look, he was not bothered, he say, I'm just cleaning the temple and all, why can't I give? He never thought about it, because he was Hengariyam, he was enjoying it. That is not the highest, he was a dasa. He knows he is a Swami. Once you have dasa and Swami, and once you have that attitude, you are bound to get it. This is exactly this one. has been said in that. So therefore, it is always the longing what you are having to, it will be done at any cost. Whereas if you hold on to you steadfastly to the principles and you have got the bound and belief, certainly it will be happening and all. It will definitely be taking place. So this is what the mantra says. Otherwise, when you are holding on only to get whatever you want in this world and keep it safe, in your safe vault, it will not be, because that is a prayer center. That's why we said, the quoted Hiranyakashipu. Shipu in the sense who is keeping below his head. He kept Hiranya because basically Hiranyakashipu, he kept all the wealth, below that. And that's why, it is sarcastically said when Narasimha has killed Hiranyakashipu, there are a million Hiranyakashipus have come into the beings. Now, unless a million Narasimhas come, you will not be able to take away that. Because the desire and other things comes in everywhere, it is being reflected in Mahabharata. Finally, when last, all the Pandavas were going up, because the story is like that, you might have known the last occasion when all of them were to, they gave up everything, kingdom and all, they were going up the Himalayas. But when they were going up, one after the other, they all left their body. Because, each of them had a desire, each of them had some, the arrogance of the feeling, each of them had some unfulfilled ambitions and all. So like only Dharma, Yudhishthira, he didn't have anything because he only had some pride in the sense, he is following Dharma. So one dog, which came, which never left him, it went with him all through and all. So when finally when he had to go to Swarga, they said, they will not allow the dog. He said, without dog I can't come, because the dog is with me, I will have to come, it is like Dharma for me, I will have to come with that one. Finally he was allowed to, before that he was showed hell for a day, just to see how are the things. From there he was taken to the Swarga, that's what it says. But the dog is supposed to be the Yama, the Dharmaraja. He was supposed to be the one who has accompanied him. Of all the places, you will find a statue of Dharma and Yudhishthira and dog in Bali. That too in a very, very sort of important center of the city. Dharma is leading the dog towards that. That's why, in spite of the fact that Mahabharata is so famous everywhere and all, we do not have such a symbolic structure anywhere and all. So there also each of them, once, because Arjuna, because of his pride, that he is the best one in that, he also loses. Everyone, Bhima during the Vanaprastha, he never, he took the food for his family and himself, but he never cared to keep it for others. Like that, they give one of the other reasons. Likewise, it is the chase in the sense finally you attain, because you get it, but you don't cling on to them. You don't fold on to them. That is exactly, see, that is something called Vairagya. Vairagya in the sense, Vairagya, you don't have to, Vairagya doesn't mean you have to give up everything and go to forest and all. It is that whatever you get it, don't get too much onto that. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, you will not mind it. That is Vairagya. Vairagya is then in the sense without that, without this comfort, I will not be able to live. You don't have to do. Today, even if you have a AC, because the government, man proposes, God disposes. The government disposes. 10 hours you will not have power. What are you going to do? You will have to live without AC only. You learn to live. Likewise, you come with whatever happens, whatever is available. Let us try to live. This is what the mantra number 2 says in short. So we have seen Shreyas and Prayas, and further elaboration of Shreyas and Prayas with some more sort of emphasis is given. We will also, because today I am not taking up the Gita slokas, because it will take further time. We will continue with the Gita slokas and others next week. And today being, since we had a sort of some technical glitch, we could not proceed with this. I will complete the session here. I will just try, if possible, I will try to put the meditation within 5 minutes. Otherwise, we will have a meditation next week. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvinavadidamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I just put the meditation just a minute.